Hello, and welcome to the 2020 Various Roads Drainage Improvements project presentation. On behalf of the town of Innisfil, we at Tatham Engineering Limited are pleased to present this virtual public engagement session. We will start our presentation with an introduction to the project, go through the environmental assessment process, review the study's problem opportunity statement, go through the alternative solutions and recommendations, and then finally, we'll discuss next steps and how you can provide comments. Let's start with an introduction to the project. The town is working to develop possible solutions to known drainage problems for specific roads in the Bon Secours and Goodfellow Beach areas. We'll go through the individual roads in more detail later. Drainage issues have been observed at the downstream end of Leonards Creek, from Reed Street to the Lake Simcoe outlet at Goodfellow Avenue and Crystal Beach Road. In particular, Buchanan Street is subject to seasonal flooding that is severe enough to cause road closures in the spring and following heavy rainfall. There are a number of issues that have been identified as contributing factors to the drainage problems occurring in the study area, including climate change. We are seeing increased major rainfall events across the Lake Simcoe watershed each year, low ground elevations and proximity to Lake Simcoe. We note that parts of the study area are below the seasonal high Lake Simcoe water level, development in the floodplain, and also upstream development, where the natural landscape has been replaced by impervious surfaces such as roads, houses, and parking lots, resulting in increases to stream flow and water volumes traveling down Leonards Creek as the water cannot infiltrate into the ground. So how can identified drainage issues be addressed? The most direct way to restore floodplain capacity would be for the town to acquire property along the creek corridor or acquire property to create a diversion with an alternate outlet to the lake. However, both options are very expensive and not feasible in the short term. This study will focus on other options to reduce flood risk, while allowing for the town to look for opportunities to acquire property in the creek corridor in the future. This leads into the next question. What is the purpose of this study? The purpose is to develop potential drainage improvements within the study area to provide reductions in flooding. Assess the potential drainage improvements given potential impacts that they may have on the environment. Identify preferred solutions. Establish measures to reduce environmental impacts. Satisfy the class environmental assessment requirements, and gather feedback from the public. We've prepared this information session to provide opportunity for public engagement, describe the study area, study purpose, and objective, present the need and justification for the study and the issues to be resolved, identify alternative solutions and potential environmental impacts, as well as seeking feedback and comments to help us select the preferred solutions from the public. The study area consists of Reed Street, Crystal Beach Road, Buchanan Street, Tall Tree Lane, Bon Secours Crescent, and Goodfellow Avenue from Crystal Beach Road to its east end. We'll look at each roadway in more detail through the next slides. Typical rural roads have a right-of-way width of at least 20 meters to allow space for paved lanes, utilities and services, and ditches. The Reed Street roadway was recently paved. The right-of-way is constrained with a total width of 9 meters, approximately half of the standard width required for a typical rural road. Minor drainage issues have been reported relating to increased runoff from the newly paved road surface. As shown in the picture here, Buchanan Street is subject to frequent flooding under snowmelt and heavy rainfall conditions. The Buchanan Street right-of-way is limited to 10.7 meters in width, leaving limited space in the boulevard for ditches. Tall Tree Lane features a larger right-of-way width of 20.1 meters, allowing for larger ditches within the boulevard. Ponding has been reported in the Tall Tree Lane ditches. Goodfellow Avenue consists of gravel surface from Crystal Beach Road to the east end of the road. The right-of-way width is constrained to widths of 10.1 to 6.1 meters, and there are no existing ditches. Ponding issues have been reported on multiple driveways. Bonseco Crescent consists of a 10.1 meter right-of-way width with gravel surface roadway that is adjacent to Outlet 1, where Leonards Creek outlets to Lake Simcoe. There is no guardrail adjacent to the Outlet 1 channel. Crystal Beach Road has a larger right-of-way width of 20.1 meters. There is an existing ditch in the west boulevard of the right-of-way that conveys drainage southward to Outlet 3 at Roberts Road. Driveway ponding has been reported for multiple properties on Crystal Beach Road. Now that we've reviewed the study background, we'll move on to the municipal Class EA process. What is a class environmental assessment? The class environmental assessment is a standardized planning procedure for common municipal projects. This project triggers the Schedule B activities of the planning procedure, which will undergo Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the process before moving forward to Phase 5, where the project is implemented. In more simple terms, under Schedule B, we are required to identify and describe the problem or opportunity that this project will address as part of Phase 1. Then, for Phase 2, we identify and assess alternative solutions to solve the problem we defined in Phase 1. We complete public consultation, which consists of this virtual public engagement presentation, and then using feedback from the public, we recommend preferred solutions. Following Phase 2, we issue a notice of completion and the preferred solutions move forward to detailed design and construction. So what is our problem or opportunity statement for this project? The study area experiences flooding during the spring and after heavy rainfalls. While historical flooding due to development of the Leonards Creek floodplain has been documented in the study area, town staff have noted that seasonal flooding problems have worsened in recent years. The study area requires solutions to improve drainage conditions as a result of resident requests, road closures due to flooding, and high maintenance demands on the town. To address this problem statement, we have developed the following alternative solutions. The alternatives have been structured so that they can be implemented together or individually over a longer period of time. The locations of the alternatives are presented on the drawings at the end of this section. Alternative 1, do nothing. As part of the environmental assessment procedure, we must consider the alternative where the study area remains per existing conditions. As the documented drainage issues would continue under Alternative 1, it is not recommended. Alternative 2, replacement of Crystal Beach Road culverts, involves replacing the existing culverts at Outlet 3 with 2 larger pipe arch culverts. As part of the road reconstruction to install the proposed culverts, a road sag would be incorporated to provide additional capacity for flows to travel over the road. Also, A sediment barrier consisting of armor stone and boulders would be installed in the lake outlet at the culvert ends to protect them from being blocked with lake sediment. Alternative 3, improvements to Tall Tree Lane outlet, or outlet 2. Alternative 3 consists of providing armor stone walls to provide an above-ground route for excess flows at the south end of Tall Tree Lane to travel to Lake Simcoe at outlet 2. A sediment barrier is also proposed to protect the existing storm pipe ends from filling with lake sediment. Alternative 4, ditch improvements. Alternative 4 includes ditch regrading to improve conveyance and reduce ponding in ditches and over driveways where possible. This would be implemented across the study area. Alternative 5, replacement of culvert crossing at Hartley Road and Crystal Beach Road. Alternative 5 consists of replacing the existing culvert at the Hartley Road and Crystal Beach Road intersection. The existing culvert is partially blocked and in poor condition at the inlet. The replacement culvert would be the same size. Alternative 6, upgrading Leonards Creek culvert crossings. Alternative 6 consists of upgrading the Leonards Creek culvert crossings at Crystal Beach Road, Tall Tree Lane, and Buchanan Street. To prevent downstream property impacts, the culverts must be upgraded from the downstream end of Leonards Creek, moving upstream. We note that the existing culverts are lower than the Lake Simcoe high water level, which limits the additional flow that can travel through the culverts. Alternative 7, upstream wetland reconstruction screening. For Alternative 7, upstream town-owned properties were analyzed as possible wetland creation projects. The created wetlands would provide water storage to reduce the amount of flow through the study area and reduce flooding impacts. However, the town-owned properties available were not large enough to provide meaningful impacts to flood conditions in the study area, and therefore wetland creation is not recommended. Alternative 8, implement recommendations from Alcona North Secondary Plan. A planning study called the Alcona North Secondary Plan was completed for Leonards Creek watershed in November 2011, but was not formally adopted by the town at that time. Alternative 8 consists of implementing the Alcona North Secondary Plan's recommended policy controls for stormwater management in upstream development areas. Changes implemented through these policy controls can reduce the maximum flow rate that water travels through Leonards Creek after a storm event by up to 25% as the recommended controls are put into place. Alternative 9, drainage improvements at Reed Street. Alternative 9 involves reinstating minor drainage swales in the Reed Street Boulevard. A perforated subdrain has also been included in this design to promote infiltration of stormwater runoff into the ground. A perforated subdrain is a small diameter pipe with holes in the pipe walls to allow water to travel between the pipe and surrounding ground material. Perforated subdrains are typically installed in clearstone or gravel beds, like shown. The proposed swales and perforated subdrain will mitigate the drainage issues that are occurring as a result of the Reed Street and Hazelsgate paving works. Alternative 10, storm sewer diversion from Chapel Court and Sandy Trail. Alternative 10 considered a diversion of water from Leonards Creek through a proposed storm sewer that would be installed from Chapel Court to Sandy Trail to the existing Happy Vale Drive sewer. However, when the Happy Vale Drive sewer was reviewed, it was determined to not have any additional capacity available for this diversion. Also, the diversion was found to have little impact in the downstream study area at Outlet 1, where Leonards Creek outlets to Lake Simcoe, while increasing flow conditions at the diversion to Outlet 3 near Roberts Road. This alternative is not recommended. Alternative 11, rain barrel program. Alternative 11 consists of increased promotion of the town's rain barrel program to residents in the Leonards Creek watershed. A rain barrel is a container that can be connected to a residential roof downspout, allowing for rainwater to be collected and then used for gardening or other outdoor uses. While rain barrels will not provide a significant reduction in the flows observed in the study area, rain barrels will reduce runoff in frequent storms, providing minor local improvements and increasing public education and engagement. Alternative 12, diversion through Ninth Line Park. Alternative 12 involves implementing a diversion from the Leonards Creek through Ninth Line Park to Lake Simcoe. Culverts would be installed under Ninth Line, and a ditch would be required to connect to the existing drainage channel, as shown. We've provided drawings to show the locations of the proposed alternatives. Please refer to the key plan in the top right corner for an overall location reference on each plan. Drawing DI1 shows the south end of Crystal Beach Road. Drawing DI2 shows Crystal Beach Road at Buchanan Street and Tall Tree Lane intersections. Drawing DI3 shows the north end of Crystal Beach Road. Drawing DI4 shows Buchanan Street. Drawing DI5 shows Tall Tree Lane. Drawing DI6 shows Goodfellow Ave and the Ninth Line Park. And drawing DI7 shows Goodfellow Ave, Bon Secours Crescent, and Reed Street. Now that we've reviewed the proposed alternative solutions, let's go through the next steps for this study. Following our virtual public engagement session, we will receive public comments and input for consideration in identification of preferred solutions, which will be carried forward to detailed design and construction. In more detail, the remainder of the study will review and address public, agency, and stakeholder comments, conduct assessments of the alternative design concepts, identify the preferred alternatives, complete required environmental investigations, issue the notice of study completion, prepare final report for council review and endorsement, and place the final report on public record for a 30-day review. There are two ways to provide comments. You can complete the resident survey available at the link provided. This will ensure that we have your contact information so that we can forward study updates and findings. You can also submit a comment sheet available at the link provided. All comment sheets will be reviewed and considered as part of the study, and all comments will become part of the public record. All comment sheets are to be submitted by Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Thank you for your interest in this project. Please feel free to contact the town and/or Tatham Engineering anytime you should have any further questions or concerns. Our contact information is provided on this slide.